We
Wow.
are.
When you said get into it, I didn't quite think
we're
you
in,
meant
man.
that quick.
Well, you said no. You said no pre-roll, sir.
All right.
I don't know what's showing us. So oh wait, a desktop is showing.
Yeah, the desktop.
Yeah,
There it
we're
is.
We'll take it there. Let's
no pre-roll, sir.
I don't. There's our countdown. We're gonna at least run the intro. Is an intro planned?
No.
No intro?
No, sure.
Really?
Maybe we should just skip the intro.
Skip the intro. All right, man. Mics are on. All right. Fuck it. No intro.
No intro. Maybe you should give us a little bit of a recap. What's happening here, man?
What do we have? What's happening is we're here to do a show. A show today. I'm still trying to get my headphones on. I'm very unorganized. Very unorganized person. And yeah. So back to that. Tim, we have a guest finally.
We finally have a guest.
How many episodes did we do without one? Like
Since I've been here? I've been here since January.
no, we haven't had a guest on.
Yeah.
No.
Well, we've had
We had Jason.
We had two.
We had Jason and Dave.
Since I've been here,
And
I've been here
anybody-
since January.
Anybody that does tune in may
That's
see.
one. Well, we've had
We had
two.
Jason.
We had
Thor,
two.
Marlowe,
Jason,
correct? Okay, I wasn't sure if I was going to pronounce that correct. We do have a guest today. Somebody that I initially talked to about this a while ago. Months. I'm going to say months.
Several months ago.
Several months ago, and I finally did contact him. We aligned schedules for a short time today. So we're skipping intros, skipping the countdown, everything. Yeah, right in. What dude, what do you do? Okay, that was one of the things I wanted to talk to you about. If you want to list it, you don't have to go into detail. But I know there's only 24 hours in a day. I work 7 days a week. Between two jobs, and I constantly run out of time to do stuff. That was one of the things why I wanted to talk to you, because you do a lot of things. And I constantly run out of time to do stuff.
I do spread myself out.
Okay, here's what I know. I'll just cover it quick. Between coaching, tattoos, and
I do spread myself
what else
out.
did I say? I said one other thing that I know of.
I'll just cover
Tattoos, coaching, and
Like organizing events.
yeah, he had that skate contest going. That's whenever he did that, I'm like, how does he have time? So what do you do?
Well, I do a variety of different things. First and foremost, I'm a family man. I got 3 kids and a wife.
Right.
I do a variety of different things. Stay motivated. I don't just sit around very well, so that kind of keeps me pushing forward. But I own and operate a tattoo studio. I'm a tattoo artist and body piercer at the studio as well.
Okay. Were you still at the shop when they moved in across the street?
Yeah.
Okay. That was the first time I saw a tattoo studio since when? Are you from the area?
I'm not. I actually moved into the area June 2014, I believe.
Okay.
Are you from the area?
Yeah, I remember a tattoo studio coming in. On top of that, you had, like, I don't want to call it a skate shop, but basically a skate shop that you could buy parts.
Right.
Decks, bearings. We had to leave town. Anybody that skates had to leave town to get that stuff previously.
Yeah, like half-hour drive at least.
Yeah, minimum.
We had to leave town.
So, tattoo studio. What else do you name, Coach?
Half-hour drive.
So I do. I own the Shannon Valley Vikings semi-pro football organization. That's adult semi-pro football. So as the owner, I'm also the general manager. So I, handle everything from equipment to jerseys to practice schedules to operations of practices, recruiting, local promotions, stocking of concessions. I mean, literally, I have my hand in everything involved in the program. I have my head coaching duties with that program as well.
Damn.
So, I don't let those duties slack due to my owning duties, so that takes up quite a bit of my time. When you deal with adult athletes, it involves a lot more recruiting than people would expect, because you're trying to get people who have jobs, who have established lives, to travel from the area that they live to your area.
Right.
it's a very, very low percentage of the people on the team that play for me live within 40 minutes of our field.
So how do you?
Well, what's like the average age of like the players you have?
Yeah, that's what I.
So we'll just take last year. My youngest player was
What's
17.
like the average age of like the
my
players?
oldest player was 48.
Oh, okay. So
You almost had a 50-year-old out in that field.
Well, yes, we did. And believe it or not, it was a quarterback, Shane Scott, very talented guy. He just very athletic and kept his youth. So that kind of worked out as a benefit for him there. But the average age, I would have to say, though, would probably be somewhere in the 26.
26. Okay. Average age.
Average age.
That's like I don't know. I don't want to say testament. That's the wrong word. But that's like kudos to people for doing stuff at older ages now.
you could turn a phrase with testament in there.
I can throw it in there. I'm bad with words sometimes, man. Speech it right, Tim.
Speech it right.
Yeah.
Make words good. A phrase with testament.
No, like I watch on YouTube. There's a guy that from
Speech it right.
United Kingdom, Great Britain, somewhere over the pond, over the Atlantic Ocean, into BMX, like in his late 30s, I think, or early in his 30s. I know that for sure. But he's friends with a few people, and like one or two of them are like 50, 56, riding BMX, and not like just cruising around on like getting there is doing crazy, tail whip or flip whips, all crazy shit, tricks that I would never try. Maybe into a foam pit if you were like convincing me and paying me. But yeah, and 48 years old, playing semi-pro football. Now, wow.
Is it like full contact?
Oh, it's absolutely. Now, a lot of people, when they hear some older people can play, they think that it's got to be backyard. It's got to be fairly disorganized, dysfunctional. No, the talent level is absolutely unreal. I mean, we have receivers in the league out there running 4.4 or below 40 times.
That's nuts.
Last year going into the season, my linebackers were all putting up 225, 15 plus times.
I'm not a football guy, so he'll
I know a little
225
bit.
pounds benching that 15 times is
okay. That I understand.
Yeah, that's
because
not
again,
a lightweight.
in sports we don't necessarily look at overall weight as much as how many times you can rep out a specific strong amount of weight, like 225 pounds.
Like that explosive power.
Exactly, that will last. So it's okay. Sure, you can lift 500 pounds, but can
Like that
you
explosive power.
continue to operate after you do that once? You know what I mean? So it's how many times can you rep out 225? So in the NFL combines, that's what they do. They don't actually have them lift over that amount when they're doing the actual.
Yeah, I've heard of the combine, but I don't know like where people rank what's good.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know.
So a 4.4 or a 4.3
Yeah, I've
40
heard of the combine, but I don't know
is
like,
fast.
where people rank
I mean,
what's good.
it's really
That
fast.
40 yards, right?
40 yards.
All right, yeah, I remember that from track, and that is. I never got a time like that. I'll say that. Yeah.
It's pretty quick, and I mean, our players are huge. Like I have a guy, Stevie Eisenhuth. He's like 6'4", 6'5", 290. Plays defensive end. He can jump. He's got, we have photos of him in games jumping with a foot and a half underneath his feet of just pure air. Like for a guy that weighs 290 pounds to get up like that, it's like athletic ability mixed with size, So that has actually helped us really grow a fan base in the area because it's I mean, I hate to use the word violent, but it's far more violent and far more brutal than your typical 11-man football. Okay? Because what we play is 8-man football, so it's 8 versus 8 instead of 11 versus 11. And have you ever seen arena football on TV? How it has a smaller field?
Yeah, it's smaller. Like,
Wow.
So we play on that size of a field outdoors.
okay.
So it's like
I've never
11-man rules. An arena-sized field with like the rawness of hockey, but it has the emotional energy of like a UFC fight.
Right. So you're getting up on rugby levels almost.
Yeah,
That gets kind of crazy too.
Right. Rugby gets crazy. Rugby's
So you
a bit more raw because the pads aren't there, you know what I mean? And it's more about what you can produce at the moment, where the ball lands, things
With-
like that.
Right.
Can't you hit a lot harder with the pads?
You absolutely. I mean,
Yeah, but you can get hurt.
You can get hurt too.
You're getting hit harder, so you can get hurt
Can't
easier.
you
Is
hit a lot
that, I
harder
guess.
with the pads?
there's just different things that come
You
into
get hurt,
play.
too.
You know, like in rugby,
Yeah.
you'll learn to hit a little bit different because you don't have the protection on your head. Now, granted, as a youth coach, we teach people to get your head to the side. Don't do right. Use your shoulder. Use your chest more. Don't use the top of your head and stuff. That way, it's not putting all that hit and trauma in your helmet. But
use your chest more.
I mean, to be fair, you know, with these older players that grew up playing, the old mentality of get out there and smack somebody, you know, the old term, you know, put your helmet on somebody, you know, so that part of it is still there a little bit, but it's just more, it's the energy, the rawness. I mean, these guys are absolutely,
So that part of it is still
you know,
there
they're
a little
bleeding
bit,
and
but
sweating and
it's
still
just
having
more-
fun while they're
it's
doing
the
it. It's
energy,
just,
the
to me,
rawness.
it's
I
the
mean, these
energy
guys
that
are
I used to get from
absolutely,
other parts of my life that I gave up,
they're
you know,
bleeding and
left in
sweating
my
and
youth.
having-
Imagine
and
that.
still having
You
fun
work.
while they're doing it.
They all
It's
work,
just-
right?
to me,
Pretty
it's the
much. Like
energy
these are
that I used to
adults.
get
Oh yeah,
from
they
other
all
parts of
work.
my
So you're
life
working
that I
your
gave up.
job 40 hours, whatever. Maybe you work more. Then going in and doing that.
Pretty much.
I feel like a
Oh yeah,
slacker.
they all work.
I do this stuff in my spare time.
Well, that's just because you love this and they love that.
Yeah, I know,
what
but
mean?
that's-
it's easy to do something like that when your heart's behind it.
It's like, yeah, I got free time. I'm gonna go build a house or something. Like some people do that, but that's more than building a house. You're getting injured. No. Okay, if you're a coach, is it safe to say you're also a football fan?
Correct.
Okay. Here's something I want to know. If you think it's like just BS or not. What is that? CTE with the head injuries?
Correct.
Is that that's a real thing?
That is absolutely a real thing.
All right. Do you see that having like an impact on like the NFL?
Correct.
Well, I do.
That's a real thing.
Here's my look at it. Okay. From youth football, once it came out, you know, CTE came out, and we really started to understand a little bit about what and why. You know,
Right.
They changed the rules. There's a lot of things in the game that have changed. People say football's gone soft. Okay. Well, a lot of that is to try to help protect the athlete. Like, we're not out there to get kids beat up. We're not out there to get high schoolers beat up. The purpose of us going out there and playing football is because of all the added things that football gives people, like
Discipline,
leadership
skills for some people.
Exactly.
Thinking tactically,
Teamwork.
Teamwork,
You're-
physical work.
Yeah, you're learning vital skills
Yeah.
that apply in other
Leadership
aspects of
skills for
life.
people.
And there's things like, as a
Like
coach,
thinking
it's my job
tactically,
to tell you,
physical work.
today you did not do well. I expect better of you.
And there's things
And
like,
at
as a
practice,
coach,
I
it's
need to
my
see some
job
extra
to
hustle
tell
in
you,
you. Now,
today you
in
did
your
not do
job
well.
life,
Mm-hmm.
and
I
pretty
expect
much,
better of you.
you know, dealing
And
with
at practice,
with,
I need to see some extra
police,
hustle on you.
anything
Now,
like that. There are
in your job
situations
life,
where somebody else
pretty
is
much
going to
it,
be
you know,
in control of
dealing
what
with-
happens,
with,
and they're the one that's going to
police,
decide if the effort
anything
you
like
put
that. There are
forth, whether it
situations
is
where
good enough. I
somebody
hate to
else
say
is
that, but
going
that's
to
part of
be
life.
in
You
control of
know,
what happens.
and
Yeah.
and
And
football
they're the
taught
one
that
that's
to
gonna
me
decide if the
as a
effort you
kid.
put
So that was
forth,
one of the
whether
things
it
that
is good
really
enough. I hate to say that,
drew
but that's
me to
part of
say,
life.
hey,
Yeah.
once my
And-
kids
yeah.
get
And
closer
football
to the
taught
age of
that
being
to
able to
me
play,
as a kid.
I
So
really
that
want to
was one of the things
re-engage
that
myself
really
with the sport of football, and
drew me to
that's what
say,
I
hey,
did. You know?
once
Okay.
my kids get closer to the age of
How
being
does
able to
how does
play,
somebody
I really want to re-engage
me or Tim?
myself with
We're
the
not
sport of
I'm not a
football.
huge
That's
football
what
fan. You're not a sports fan really?
Not really.
Okay. But say one of us want to get involved, or anybody, just your average person in the public, somebody watching this in the future. They love football, they want to go
No.
play semi-pro.
Correct.
How do they get involved in that?
All right, so most teams will have a tryout. All right, our tryout is ran more or less like an NFL
How do
combine.
they get involved?
It's set
All
up
right,
so
so most
we'll get
teams
to
will have a
see how many
tryout,
reps to
all right?
225
Our
you
tryout
can
is
do, what your
ran,
40
more or
time
less like
is,
an NFL combine.
how far you can jump from a
It's set
standstill,
up so
all the things that really
we'll get
show
to
us
see
like
how many reps to
athletic skill and
225 you can do,
ability,
what your
and
40
we're also
time
going to
is,
test your endurance.
how
Like,
far you can jump
are
from
you
a
coming to our combine in shape, or are you just coming as an athlete that's hoping to get in shape as we go? Because again, at the semi-pro level, most athletes all have to work, so it isn't like I get to practice or condition these athletes 4-5 days a week. I literally get them 1 day a week. So I have to push them on my time hard enough
5 days a week
during the season that on their time they're doing it too, so it isn't twice as hard when they get to my time. You know what I mean? So not only that, but you can only have so many people in a certain position.
I forgot that.
You know what I mean? So
Producer, man. Sorry, Thor.
you can only have
Continue.
so many people.
You can only have so many people on your team with certain positions, or you'll have people standing around not playing. I mean, I get 40-man roster. That's the max amount of people I can sign. So, typically you want 2 centers, 6 guards, 2 or 3 quarterbacks, a kicker or 2. You know what I mean? To make sure that if somebody does get injured, you have somebody behind them that can play the position, but not so many that you have 4 or 5 behind you complaining that they're not seeing the field.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Fine
Line. So it's a juggling act between finding out what kind of chemistry is gonna pull everything together. You know what I mean? Because the team has to work, has to click. You get the complaints and the extra. Then people aren't driving 40 minutes one way to practice for you, or 2.5 hours for you on game day to go out and play a game somewhere, and then 2.5 hours to drive home. Isn't like we transport them out there. A lot of these players, they drive themselves to these games.
No, that's not paid. That's hobby.
It's not paid. We actually, the way that it's looked at is semi-pro is a development level. Okay.
Okay.
You can play college football and get out and still play semi-pro football.
Alright.
But you can go out of high school and play semi-pro football, and because it's not paid, if you develop and get good enough and send in your films, you can potentially play college football based on your improvements in semi-pro football. So now you're looking at a potential scholarship, or maybe even to go overseas to somewhere like Germany or Brazil and be able to
So
play.
that's worldwide. The semi-pro football. Or no?
So semi-pro is worldwide. Okay. Now there's different leagues and levels and all that different kinds of things that happen. Okay.
Right.
Our league, basically all the teams in our league are based in the state of Pennsylvania.
Alright.
Nobody gets paid in any of the teams in our league because we, as coaches, try to help advance people forward. We have a team over in Du Bois. They had a player that played for a couple of years, put together a lot of solid film, got a 2-year full ride scholarship to Clarion to play football. Had a big chunk of his education paid off, which was great. We had at least 6 players sent somewhere in Europe over the last 2 seasons to play ball. Poland, Germany. But they're getting paid when they go there.
Right.
These are other levels because you have, so your different levels in football, of course you have your midgets and your Pee Wee football, then you have your junior high, your JV, and your varsity football through school.
Right.
And then you have college or semi-pro. Okay, they're both different, but college is semi-pro. Then you can have minor league, and that's where you start to get paid. Okay, minor league is more like the Philadelphia Soul Arena of football.
Or like on the baseball equivalent, like the curve or the spikes.
Right.
Yeah.
So that would
Oh,
be.
they're paid.
Oh yeah, those are paid.
Oh, damn.
athletes.
Or like
Okay.
So
on the
that's
baseball
like
equivalent,
your
the
level
curve or the
below
spikes.
paid, where
that would be
the pros can look down into those levels and say, look at this guy.
Like
shine.
scouts and shit.
I was gonna
Exactly.
say, like, the curve is like, I forget if it's Pittsburgh or Philly, but it's one of their farm teams.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the Spikes and State
I was gonna
College
say,
are actually
the curve
affiliate
is like, I
for
forget
the St.
if
Louis
it's
Cardinals.
Pittsburgh or Philly, but it's one
And-
of their farm
and-
teams.
Correct.
So you can get to those levels. Some of course there's percentages. A very low percentage of the people that go through the semi-pro level make it to the pro level, but that's because a lot of the people in the semi-pro level are people say you played 4 years in college, you don't want to go play pro because you just got a college education. You move back to your hometown, you're just getting a job that you have your degree through, say you're a criminal justice major. And you move back to your small town, and now you got a job at one of the local prisons. Okay? So now you don't have kids yet, but you have a stable job. You have health insurance.
You got disposable income.
The little bit of disposable
have
income.
kids yet,
You likely
but
have
you have a stable
wife or
job.
woman that
You have
supports you
health
that wants to
insurance.
actively
You
do
got
something that you're
disposable
interested in
income,
with
a little
you.
bit of
You know what I mean?
disposable income.
So
You
you go and you
likely
play,
have
you continue
a
your
wife or
career,
woman that supports
and
you that
and
wants
usually
to
they'll put
actively
in
do something that you're
between.
interested in with you.
I mean, of
You know
course,
what
some
I mean?
only play one,
So-
but
so
typically
you go and
between
you
1
play, you
and
continue
5 or
your
6
career,
years at the
and
semi-pro level,
usually they'll put in
till you have a
between-
kid, and maybe
I mean,
that
of
kid's
course, some
just
only
getting
play
ready to
one, but
play.
typically
Because we play in the
between
spring.
1 and 5
It's
or 6
opposite of the
years
regular
at the
football
semi-pro
season.
level.
So if you have a
Till
kid
you
that's
have a
ready to
kid
start
and
playing
maybe that
baseball,
kid's just getting ready to
typically
play.
then that's all right. I
'Cause we
think
play
I'm
in the
getting
spring.
too old. I'm going
It's
to hang the
opposite of
cleats
the
up.
regular football
And then you
season.
start
So if
coaching
you
your
have a kid
son
that's
or
ready to
coaching
start
your
playing
daughter in the
baseball,
sport that they're involved in,
typically
and,
then that's
and
all
pass
right.
the
I
knowledge
think
on
I'm
through
getting too old.
generation.
I'm
You know what I
gonna
mean?
So
Right.
instead of it
And then
being
you
kind of
start
like
coaching
pro
your
level where there's
son
only like a
or
very
coaching your
select
daughter in the sport
amount of
that they're
spots,
involved in,
like
and pass
this
the
is
knowledge
like
on
what
through
anybody can do who just played in high
generation.
school.
Instead of it being kind of
Well,
like pro level where there's only
But
very
they gotta
select
gotta
amount
have
of
some kind
spots.
of
Yeah,
talent.
like, yeah.
To
And-
This is
Yeah.
like what
Anybody to a
can
certain
do who just
extent.
played in
It's
high
like-
school or a little bit in
so-
college. It's a nice path for them.
But
after
and-
that.
they gotta
There are teams in our
Yeah.
league that aren't
Yeah.
necessarily all that.
Yeah.
Anybody to a
Great.
certain
Okay.
extent.
Okay.
It's like
So let's just
so-
say
and,
me.
and,
Let's just take me.
there are teams in
Okay.
our league that
If
aren't
I were to
necessarily
suit
all
back
that
up, because I did play at the
great.
semi-pro
Okay.
level. If
So
I were to
let's
suit
just
back
say
up and play football
me
at the
Let's just
semi-pro
take me,
level now,
okay?
I
If
would be
were
like
to
third,
suit back
maybe
up,
fourth
'cause I did
string
play
on
at
my
the
team, the
semi-pro level.
Vikings.
If I were to suit
Okay.
back up and
But
play
there are
football
other teams
at
out
the
there that I may
semi-pro level
potentially
now,
start
I
on
would be like
if I
third,
went to
maybe
play for
fourth
them
string
instead.
on my team.
Okay.
So there's a pretty big
Okay.
talent disparity.
But
There
are other
can be,
teams out there
you know
that
what I
may
mean?
potentially
Maybe
start
one
on
team has a
if I were to play
great
for them
offense,
instead.
but they just happen to
there's a
not
pretty
have
big
strong
talent
defensive
disparity.
ends, so I could go and play
can
there and
be,
get more
you know what I
time.
mean?
Right.
But
Maybe one
you know,
team has
not
a
all,
great
not everybody's
offense,
just
but they
satisfied
happen
with
to not
playing.
have strong
Some
defensive
people
ends, so I
want
could
to
go and
win.
play there and
You know
get
what I
more
mean?
time.
So,
But,
like a team like
you know,
us, we're
not
very
all-
competitive.
not
Like if
everybody's
you
just
played for me
satisfied
last
with
year,
playing. Some
I
people
very much
want to win,
appreciate what you
know
put
I mean?
out.
So,
I
like,
appreciate
like
what
us,
you
we're
left on
very
the field.
competitive. Like, if
But
you
we
played for me
are
last year,
above a
I very
intramural or
much appreciate
recreational
what you
level.
put out.
And
I
I need to
appreciate
sign the
what you
40
left on
best
the field.
athletes that I
But
can
we
get to play
are
for my
above
program this
a
coming year to bring home a
intramural or
championship to this
recreational
area.
level.
Which is
Well,
what
yeah.
any team wants.
Right. So that being said, it's not necessarily anything anybody can
Well,
do.
yeah.
Are you willing to travel
Right,
as
so-
far as you
so
necessarily
that
need
being
to
said,
get on a team that will
it's
be able to
not
work with your
necessarily
ability,
anything
talent level, or
anybody can
position?
do. Are you willing to
More than
travel
likely,
as far as
yes.
you necessarily
But,
need to
you know,
get on
like
a
we
team
have-
to be able to work with your
We have 12 teams in our
ability,
league right
talent level,
now,
or position?
40 positions
More
on
than
each
likely,
team.
yes.
How many
But,
people in
you
the
know,
state of
like, we
Pennsylvania want
have-
to play football?
We
Yeah,
have 12
it's
teams in our league.
a
Good
lot.
point. Yeah, it's
I
still
really-
pretty.
40 positions on each
Like
team.
last season, we
many
paid
people in the
attention
state
to a
of
certain amount. I know some numbers fell through the cracks, so it has to be higher.
Good point, yeah.
But we went
Still
through
pretty-
115
Like last
people that
season,
expressed
we
interest in
paid
playing for the
attention to a
Vikings
certain
last
amount. I
year
know
to
some
sign my
numbers fell
40.
through the cracks, so it has to be higher.
So if that
But
puts
we
it
went
in,
through
Yeah,
a
no, that's-
percentage,
Yeah, it's a little
you know what
bit.
I mean?
Yeah,
people
yeah,
that
that's-
expressed interest
yeah,
in playing
puts a
for the
nice bow on
Vikings
it.
last
Alright.
year to sign my 40.
Switching gears a little, okay?
Yeah,
I don't know
that's-
anybody.
yeah,
Now,
that-
there's obviously people that are not fans of football.
Right.
Okay, they're obviously not fans, but I don't know anybody that's gonna be like boo football. That's a negative thing, or
Well,
Right.
like me, I don't really watch football, but I know
Right.
a little bit about it, and I don't hate it.
yeah, you're not
Yeah.
okay. Tattoos,
That's a negative thing.
as well
Like
as
me, I
having
don't really watch
tattoos,
football, but I know a
Right.
little bit
and
about it, and I don't hate
you
it.
do tattoo.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, that's your bit. How did you get involved in that? Because
having tattoos,
I don't know your age, but
you do
you were definitely around in the '90s. And a lot of stuff changed back then, and tattoos were pretty stigmatized up until, I don't want to say like last year, but as lately, like 2000s maybe.
Yeah, I could say. I think I saw become a little more
You've been in the
common.
business. When do you think that change came about? That tattoos were becoming more acceptable socially.
Honestly, I saw a major. I mean, of course, it progressively became less and less of an issue slowly
Honestly,
over
I
time.
saw.
But to me, it
major- I mean,
really became
of
a
course, it
serious change
progressively
in
became
what people thought.
less
Like the
and
year,
less of an issue.
like around
slowly over time.
2013, I
But to
noticed
me,
a
it
huge
really
break
became a
That's
serious
an attitude
change in-
of-
That's still
in
pretty
what people
recent.
thought
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty recent, But
around
if you go,
2013,
so
I
go to
noticed
your
a
local
huge
elementary
break
school.
in-
That's-
All right.
in the attitude
I bet you if
of-
you
That's
have
still pretty
four,
recent.
let's
I
just
mean,
say
it's
four
pretty recent.
female elementary school
if you
teachers.
go, so
I
Right.
bet you
local
3 of them
elementary
at least have
school, right?
tattoos.
I bet you.
Maybe
if you
not
have
visible,
4,
but for sure.
let's just say
Maybe
4
not
people,
visible,
okay.
but
Right.
for sure.
elementary school.
And at least one of them
I
has a
bet you
visible
3 of
tattoo.
them at least have
It's
tattoos.
it's getting
Maybe
to that
not
point
visible,
where
but
so
for
many
sure.
people have
Maybe
them
not
that
visible.
okay.
but
people
for
now
sure.
know that
And at least one
there's
of
a
them
lot
has a
of
visible tattoo.
of great
It's getting to that
workforce
point where
out
so
there.
many people
A
have
lot
them
of great people you can
people
have
now
around
know
you that
there's a lot
were
of
getting pushed
of
out of
great
everything or just not getting tattoos
workforce
because of
out
that
there.
stigma attached to
A lot of
everything. You
great
know?
people
Right.
you can have
I
around
once
you
was
that
walking through. I
were
was in a
getting
Goodwill.
pushed
You know,
out
I
of
like to go
everything
in
and
there
just
and
not
look
getting
at some old
tattoos
frames,
because of that
art
stigma
frames, and
attached
stuff
to
like that.
everything, you know.
Right.
I once was
And then
walking
paint 'em and do some
through,
work
I
on
was
'em
in a
and frame
Goodwill.
other things
I
with
like
them,
to
you
go
know.
in there and look at some
And
old frames,
and
art
this
frames
elderly
and stuff like
lady
that.
approached me and actually
And then
reached
paint 'em
right
and do
out
some
and
work
touched
on
my
'em,
neck.
reframe
Now
other things
you
with
can
them.
see I got tattoos on my neck.
Oh, yeah.
And this elderly lady approached me.
So she
and actually
says,
reached right out and touched
"Why
my
do
neck.
you put
Now,
these
you can
drawings
see
on
I
your
got
skin?"
tattoos on my neck.
Oh, yeah.
And I said, "You know, I
she
just like it."
says,
And she says,
Why do you put these drawings on
"I
your
don't
skin?"
dislike it, but I just don't
And I
understand it,
said,
and I want to ask somebody
You know,
why
I
you
just
do
like
it."
it.
And
she
I said,
says,
"Well, why do you put designs on your
I
shirts?"
don't dislike it, but I
And
just
she
don't
said,
understand it.
"Well,
I want to ask somebody why
Because
you
it
do
spruces things
And I
up a
said,
little
"Well,
bit,
why do
adds a
you
little
put
bit of
designs on
character
your
to your
shirts?"
look. And I
And
said,
she
"Think
said,
about this. You
"Well,
have plain skin,
Because it
Yeah.
and have
spruces things
designs
up a
on your
little bit,
clothes.
adds a little bit of
but
character
I
to
have
your
designs
look."
on my skin."
And I said,
and I
"Think
wear
about
plain
this.
clothes.
You have plain skin,
She's like, "I
And
never
have
really put it in that
designs on
kind
your
of
clothes.
perspective before."
but
Right.
I have
I
designs
said, "You
on
know,
my skin."
it doesn't make me
and I
any
wear
better or
plain
worse,
clothes.
and I can tell you once my throat
She's
got
like, "I never
tattooed,
really
I
put it
definitely
in that
started
kind
to
of
see
perspective before."
the judgment in
I
people's
said, "You know,
faces,
it
the
doesn't make me
change
any
of,
better or
hey,
worse,
this
and I
guy's
can
coming
tell you
from a
once my
distance, you
throat
know."
got
But
tattooed,
during
I
that
definitely
time,
started to
honestly,
see
like,
the
I rode with a
judgment in
motorcycle
people's faces,
club.
the
I
change of,
wore
"Hey, this
bandanas and
guy's
black
coming from a
leather and
distance,"
cowboy
you know,
boots
but
all the
during
time
that
and
time,
chains on my
honestly,
waist
like,
and had
I
a
rode with a
different
motorcycle
attitude than I
club,
have now, you know, and
I wore
I could kind of
bandanas and
understand
black
that. So
leather
maybe
and
it wasn't
cowboy
as
boots all
much
the
the
time,
tattoo
chains
as
on my
in,
waist,
hey,
and
here's this
I
guy
had a
and now he
different
looks even
attitude
meaner.
than I
But
have now,
The
you know,
individual.
and I
Correct.
kinda
Right.
understand
And-
that. So maybe it wasn't as much
But,
the tattoo as
I
in,
mean,
hey,
I
here's this
tattoo
guy
now, and I
and now he
bet
looks
you
even meaner,
90%
The
of my
individual.
business is
Correct.
female.
And
Wow.
but
I bet
I would think it the other way.
I would have
tattoo
thought more
now,
like,
I bet
you know, like a 60-40 or
90% of
something.
my
Yeah,
business
like
is
more
like
male.
average, like
It-
yeah.
It's not even
I bet
close
you
to
would think it the
halfway.
other way.
Not
I would
even
have thought more
close.
like,
It's,
you know,
so
like
you have your
60-40 or
flood
something.
of women
more-
who
more
are
like
between
average, like you know.
It's not even close to halfway.
30
Not even close. It's
and
so you have your
55.
flood of women
Alright.
who are
That got
between
divorced. And their husband said you're not
30
allowed to get that tattoo.
and
So they
55.
that's
Right?
they're
All
Damn
bet,
it.
all bets
fucking-
off. I'm doing it. Yeah.
Damn it! Now I'm living for myself. You know, I'm doing what I
Right.
want. You know, or
that's-
or they grew up
I'm
just
getting
all
it,
bets
fuck
off.
yeah,
told,
man.
hey, it's
Yeah,
bad, hey,
now
it's
I'm
bad, hey,
living
it's
for
bad.
myself.
But
you
now
know,
their
I'm doing what I
granddaughters
want,
have it,
you
and
know,
they see
or they
the
grew
lady
up
at the
just
bank
being
has
told,
one,
hey,
and
it's
the
bad, hey, it's
kindergarten
bad, hey,
teacher
it's
has
bad.
one.
But now their granddaughters
And
have it, and they
so many
see
other people that are
the-
influential in
the
our
lady
in
at the
our
bank
active
has
society
one,
now
and the
have
kindergarten
tattoos
teacher has
that
one.
they're going, hey, maybe
And
this is something
so
that I
many other
want, you
people
know.
that are
And not only
influential in
that,
our-
but
in our active
as
society now
people,
have
we like,
tattoos that they're going,
as
hey,
people,
maybe this
most
is
of us
something that I
like
want, you know?
a change.
And not only that,
Yeah.
but
something to break
as
the norm,
people,
the
we like-
static, the
as
hey,
people,
this
most of us
cigarette
like
doesn't do it for
a
me.
change.
You know what I mean? And I'm not talking
Something
pushing
to
it to
break
like
the
a
norm,
narcotic
the
or drug level,
static,
but I
the-
mean a change in
the,
your
hey,
life
this
that
cigarette
breaks
doesn't
up
do
the
it for
static.
me,
You know what I mean?
I'm not
Yeah.
talking
And
pushing
getting a
it to like
tattoo
a
and something
narcotic
new
or
that you
drug
see in the
level, but
mirror
I
when
mean,
you look at
a
yourself and
change in
smile
your
before you
life
walk
that
out at the end
breaks
of
up
the the
static,
beginning of the
you know
day
what I mean?
to face
And-
the world.
and getting a tattoo and
changes
something
things a
that you
little
see in the
bit,
mirror when you
and
look
more
at yourself
people are
and smile
becoming
before you
accepting of
walk
that.
out at the end of the,
I remember. I don't know
day
what
and
year it was.
face the world.
I remember a TV
Changes
commercial,
things a little
and
bit, and more
with the one
people
guy in the
are
commercial,
accepting of
that he was like in an office type setting, and he had like kind of like a mohawk, but it was laid down to the side.
Right.
Do you remember that? I don't remember what happened.
Office type setting. And he had
There's
Yeah,
a lot
but
of
it-
commercials.
But it was like a legit commercial kind of talk. You know,
you
it
don't
was.
remember like what the product was, or
He was. I don't know if he was tech support or something.
Been a lot of commercials.
You know, but
When's
it,
this from?
no clue.
You don't
I-
remember?
I-
You're
I-
really making this easy.
But I'm just saying, I'm trying to make it relatable. It's
Hey,
like
you remember that place?
a guy with
that
tattoos and like a mohawk, and he had it like
You're really
brightly
making this
colored, but
easy.
it was laid down. It wasn't standing up.
I've
You know?
watched a lot of TV.
The
Like,
guy with
if you
tattoos and like a mohawk.
gotta like narrow it in. Though.
I can't narrow that down, man.
Laid down. It wasn't
Dude with
standing
like
up.
a punkish looking
I've
dude
watched a lot
and
of
like
TV.
a
Like,
IP
if
role.
you-
Somebody that
gotta, like,
watches this
narrow it in,
will
though, man.
remember that
Dialogue.
commercial.
Maybe.
Dude with like a punkish
Dunny,
looking dude.
Dunny,
and,
look it up for us.
IP role.
Somebody
Dunny's a lot
that
younger
watches
than
this
us, man.
will
Yeah,
remember that
a couple
If,
years.
if it's a '90s commercial, I don't think he'd remember it.
Dunny,
Right.
Dunny, look it up.
How
for
did
us.
you get into?
Dunny's
Was
a lot
that
younger than us.
something you've always wanted to do? The tattooing, or
I mean, I grew up really interested in the tattoo culture because I had a dad that was a biker. You know, he had tattoos.
I grew up really interested in.
Honestly,
the
I grew up
tattoo
with three
culture
things that I really
because,
wanted
I had
to
a
do as
dad
a
that was a biker.
when I
you
grew
know.
up.
He had tattoos.
Most
Um,
people probably don't believe me
honestly,
when I
I
tell
grew
them
up with
because
three things
one's
that I really
crazy and
wanted
two
to do as a-
I ended up
When I
achieving.
grew up,
But I wanted to either be a
people
football
probably don't
coach,
believe me
I
when
wanted
tell
to
them because one's
be
crazy
involved in
and
the
two I-
tattoo
I
industry,
ended up achieving.
or I wanted to sing
But I
country
wanted to be
music.
Either,
Alright.
be a
That's not
football
bad. I
coach,
mean-
Yeah,
I
that's
wanted
cool.
to-
I've always
be
entertained
involved in the tattoo
singing
industry.
ska. So.
Or
Cool.
I
Yeah.
wanted to sing country music.
That's not that crazy.
No, that's not that great. I got the
That's
plaid
cool.
shorts.
I've always
man.
entertained
Neither of them are
uh,
country or
singing
ska. You know,
Cool.
I chased my dream. I was living in
No,
Pennsylvania,
that's not that great.
you know,
I
and,
got the plaid
moved
shorts.
down to Raleigh,
man.
North
Neither
Carolina
of
in
my country
2004.
or
Got together with
chased
a
my
few
dream.
people, played,
I
you know,
was
they did a
living in
little bit of music and
Pennsylvania,
stuff.
you
We
know,
did some
moved
singing.
down to Raleigh, North
Nothing really
Carolina
wanted
in
to take off,
2004.
and then the
Got
show
together with a
Nashville
few
Star
people,
was popular back
they
in
did a
that
little
day,
bit
you
of
know,
music and stuff,
back when
did some
American
singing.
Idol was fired up
Nothing
and all
really
that.
wanted
You
to
know, they
take
had their
off,
country
and then
version called
the
Nashville
show,
Star,
Nashville Star was popular back in
and they
that
came
day, you know.
through Raleigh,
Back
North
when
Carolina,
American
and
Idol was
I
fired
got
up
to
and all
sing
that, you know, they had a
at
country
the
version called
auditions and
Nashville
stuff for
Star.
that.
And
they
you know, through
Nothing really took off for me there,
I got to
and
sing,
I had decided
at the auditions
I'm going
and
to join the
stuff for that.
military. Okay.
And
Wow, okay.
nothing really took off
Damn.
for me
So I
there,
go through the
and
process.
I
I'm getting my
decided
ass fabs
I'm gonna
taken
join the
care of.
military. Okay.
Did everything I needed to
So-
do. My recruiter was
So I
in the
go through the
driveway,
process of
pick
getting
me
my
up and
ass
take me to
fabs,
go sign the
taken care
papers
of,
and go to
did
MEPS and do
everything
all
I
that
needed
stuff,
to
right?
do.
Like
My
the
recruiter was
line of
in
the
the
beat.
driveway.
The
picked me up
official
and
one, you
taken
know.
me to go sign
So,
the papers and go to MEPS
We had
and
had
do
a
all that
flood
stuff, right?
recently,
Like
and
the line
and the
of
door
beat.
frame around my door had warped.
the official
Well, long
one, yeah.
story short,
So
I tell him, hey, let me
we'd
take
had
my
a
dog out
flood
real
recently,
quick. So I take my
and-
dog out.
and
On
the
the way
door
in, I
frame
put my
around
hand
my
on the
door
door,
worked.
go to push the
Well,
door
long
open.
story short,
The door sticks.
I tell him,
Hand
hey,
goes
let me
through
take
the
my dog out
glass,
real quick.
cuts
So I
out
take
the
my
whole
dog
back
out
of my
on
ring
the way
finger
in, I put
here,
my hand on the door, I go to push the door
punctured the
open.
top of my
The door
hand where the
sticks.
pinky and ring
Hand
finger
goes through the
tendons
glass,
come together.
cuts out the
Sliced
whole
my
back
thumb
of
up
my
really
ring
good. It
finger
just
here.
jacked my hand up really bad.
Punctured
So
the top
he had
of my
actually been a
hand where
medic
the pinky
overseas,
and
so
ring
he
finger
pulls
tendons
out like
come
this
together,
big toolbox med
sliced my
kit, you
thumb
know,
up really good,
wraps
and
my
just
hand
jacked
up
my
for
hand
me
up
and
really
takes me
bad.
to the hospital.
So
And he's like,
he had
hey,
actually
you're
been a medic
really banged up in
overseas,
that
so he
hand. Like,
pulls out like
I don't know
this
how
big
this is going
toolbox
to go
med
for
kit,
you.
you
And
know,
you know, it
wraps
took
my
me a
hand up
year
for
to
me
just
and
be able
takes
to
me
light
the
a, like,
hospital, and he's
to
like,
grip a
hey,
lighter
you're
with my
really
left hand and
banged
be able
up
to
in that
light it.
hand,
Like,
I
because
don't know
my
how this
fingers
is
were
gonna go
stitched
for you,
together. It was
but
just
Yeah,
it was terrible.
I have a friend that got a wrist injury from glass also.
So
Because my fingers
the
were
military
stitched
kind
together.
of went
It
out
was
the
just
window
terrible.
I have a
while
friend
my
that
hand
got
was
a
healing up. You know,
wrist
I didn't know all that many
from
people in
glass
Raleigh,
also.
so it wasn't like I had this big social scene. I could just go and
military kinda
hang
went
out
out
with
the
these
window
people.
while
So I
my
started
hand was
hanging out at
healing
a
up, you
tattoo
know,
shop.
I didn't know all that many people. in
You know,
Raleigh,
after
so it
hanging
wasn't
out
like
there
I had
for
this
a
big
while,
social
laughing
scene. I
and
could just go
joking,
and hang
getting
out
to
with
know the
these
people a little bit.
So I started
Eventually,
hanging
they were
out at a
busy
tattoo
and the
shop.
phone would ring, so I'd answer the
You know,
phone
after
and answer a
hanging out there
question,
for a
or
while,
somebody come
laughing,
in for a piece of
joking,
body
getting to know
jewelry, and
people
I'd
a
help
little
them pick
bit.
it out.
Eventually, they were busy.
Ring
and
them
the
up,
phone
you
would
know,
ring,
and
so I'd
after
answer
a
the
while,
phone
I
and
was
answer a
sitting on the other
question,
side
or
of the
somebody
desk.
come in
You know,
for a piece of
they were
body
like, "Hey,
jewelry,
do you
and
want to
I'd
learn
help
how to
them pick it
pierce?"
out and
So my
ring 'em
initial
up, you know,
into
and
the business
after a while,
was
I was
to
sitting on the other side of
was
the
an
desk,
apprenticeship
you
doing
know.
body piercing.
They were like,
That
"Hey,
would
do you
have
want to
been
learn how
in
to pierce?"
2006.
So my initial
And,
into the business was to
and since
was
then,
an
you know, I've been
apprenticeship
hooked
doing
on on the tattoo industry. Now there were times where
And
I wasn't able to make my income based on the industry.
Then,
You know,
I've been hooked on
2009, 2010 in that area. I worked in the hotel business because I had my first kids and needed to make the most amount of money I could. I actually
Yeah,
wasn't
that's-
even tattooing yet at that point. It was still body piercing. So,
I had my first kids,
around 2012, that's when I started officially.
at that point. It was still
With the shop? Like,
No,
So,
tattooing.
Okay, okay.
I started working with some independent tattooers that I knew, and taken the knowledge and
shop,
stuff that I'd
like,
gained through working in the
tattooing.
shops and
Okay.
managing the shops
I
and
started
stuff that I'd
working
been in,
with
and
some independent
really applied
tattooers
them.
that
I brought
knew,
my shop to
taking the knowledge and
Phillipsburg,
stuff that
opened my
I'd
first
gained
shop in
through working in the
2015.
shops and managing
Yeah,
the shops and stuff
I didn't
like that,
witness
and
it, but I witnessed it
really
from
applied
afar
them. I
across
brought
the
my shop
street.
Oh, yeah,
We-
you
we
live
both
above
did.
your
Yeah.
apartments there too. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw something coming in. I remembered, like, what are they doing over there when they were moving the stuff
Oh, yeah,
in?
you live above the.
I don't want to steal your
apartments there,
time.
too,
It is
yeah.
past the 1 o'clock mark, so yes.
I do have one quick question though.
Okay, go ahead. Go
Okay.
ahead.
What's the silliest thing
Don't
you've
wanna
ever
steal your
tattooed?
time. It is past the 1 o'clock
The
mark.
silliest,
The
thing
silliest,
I've
yeah.
ever
I
tattooed.
do have one quick question though.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. What's the silliest thing?
The
you've
silliest
ever
thing I ever tattooed would
The
be.
The silliest, yeah.
So my buddy Chris says, "Hey, I want to get a tattoo today."
The silliest
And
thing
I said,
ever
"All right,
tattooed
come on in. I
would
got
be-
time."
So
I'm like, "What do you
my buddy
want?"
Chris
And he's like, "I don't really
says,
know.
Hey, I want to get a tattoo.
I just want
today."
something." He's got a lot
I
of
said,
tattoos.
"All
Some
right,
people
come
just
on in,
want
I got
to get
time."
something cool, you know.
I'm like, what do you want?
I'm like,
And
"Well,
he's like, I don't
what's
really
next
know.
to it? What am I
I just
tattooing
want
here?"
something.
You
He's
know,
got a
and he
lot of
says,
tattoos.
"Well, I
Some
have a
people just want to
hefty
get something
pinup
cool, you
girl
know?
on my
And
chest,
I'm like, well,
a hefty
what's
one,
next to it? What am I
and she's
tattooing
got
here?
like oven mitts on her
It
hands.
says,
You know what I mean?
A hefty pinup girl.
So I think to myself, well, I could have some fun with this, you know. So I did some like American traditional style. I did like a slice of
So I
pizza.
think to
These
myself, well, I
are
could have some
objects
fun
that
with
are
this,
around
you know.
the pinup girl
So I
now
did some like
as we
American
fill up the
traditional
pack on his
style.
chest.
I
You
did,
know what I mean?
Like a slice
So I
of
did
pizza.
a
These
bottle
are
of
objects
Coke.
that are around the pinup girl now, as we fill up the
did
pack on his chest. You know
A
what I mean?
donut with a
So I did,
switchblade stabbed through the center
a
of
bottle
it.
Coke.
And then right
did
down next to the nipple, I did a
donut
hot
with
dog.
switchblade stabbed through the
And,
center of it.
and I made sure that the edge of the bun
And then
overlapped
right down
the areola
next
a
to the
little
nipple, I
bit.
did
So
a
while
hot
I'm
dog.
tattooing these other
And-
ones, he
and I
kept
made
saying,
sure that the
"Oh,
edge
it
of the
feels
bun
like you're tattooing my
overlapped the
nipple," and I'm
areola
like,
a little
"Nope."
bit. So while
Not
I'm
tattooing your nipple right now, and he's like, "Oh, okay,
"Oh,
that's
it
good,"
feels
you
like
know.
you're tattooing my nipple,
So,
and I'm like,
so
"No,
I keep going, and eventually I
not
got down to the
tattooing
hot
your
dog
nipple
and ended
right
up
now,"
going
and
with
he's
the
like,
areola,
"Oh,
and he's
okay,
like,
that's good,"
Wow,
you know.
okay, well,
So I keep
I don't know
going.
if I'm gonna
eventually I
never
got
trust
down
you
to
not
the
to
hot
tattoo
dog.
my nipple again, but a hot dog on a man's nipple would be the
Wow,
probably
okay,
the
well,
silliest.
Yeah,
That's worthy.
I don't know if I'm gonna
Yeah,
ever trust
that's
you not
it.
to tattoo
Yeah.
my nipple again, but a
All
hot
right,
dog on a
awesome.
man's nipple
All right.
would be
Hey, thanks for having me, guys.
Thank
I'll
you.
happily
Yes.
come on again if you guys are ever interested. in
Sure, I
stuff,
would.
and-
There, I have a million and one questions. Not literally, but I do have a lot. When you have more time, definitely. We'd love to have you back and expand just on life in general more. That's the whole point of this. The premise for the show is before the time of the internet and cell phones bigger than a brick, the preferred method of communication was conversation,
Right.
face to face.
Absolutely.
That's how we founded the show. So definitely, we will have you back. We're taking a break, people.
Yep, we'll be back.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Thor Marlowe, thank you for coming on, man.
Come on.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks a million. Where is it?
Oh, there you found it. Ugh.
And bring the mics back online.
Oh, I thought you said they were.
those mics went cold for a while. They went dark.
They went dark. Oh, so okay,
They're
they
back.
They didn't hear us then.
No, they didn't hear us, but they saw a video.
Oh, they just saw a video.
I had to adjust the camera. Hey, we're a low budget.
Yeah.
We're a no budget, low budget show here, people.
Yeah. Sorry for the noise. I got to scooch.
Yeah, that's fine, man. What do they expect? We're doing this live.
There we go.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
you're a little out.
Yeah, I'm moving. I'm getting up here.
Yeah,
Getting up
scooch.
there.
Okay.
I'm not really going to be facing the camera, but
That's all right. It's a wide, man.
yeah, you're like way in. All right,
Well, I'm
back
in. I'm
back
not way
back to
in.
showtime.
Way in.
I'm not really gonna be facing.
Hold on.
the
Oh,
camera.
it's a little bit, but like,
It's a
yeah,
wide.
that's like
Yeah,
way
you're,
in.
like, way
No, he's
in.
going
Well,
to
I'm
scoot
in.
way up
I'm not
on
way
me.
in.
Back to showtime.
All right,
Way
let's
in.
put it back
Yeah,
over
hold on.
here.
Hold on. Oh, it's a
All
little
right,
bit,
man.
like,
So
yeah, that's like way
I guessed for a short time.
in.
Way
Yeah.
up
Yeah.
on me.
That's okay. The bugs were worked out. Once I started everything up, it was good.
I thought you meant you had everything like plugged in,
guess
ready
for
to
sure.
go.
No, I forgot that.
It's okay.
If everything would have been plugged in, ready to go, it would have been. I thought you meant you had everything.
Would have been
plugged in,
amazing.
ready to
20
go.
minutes, but
I
hey,
forgot that.
It's all right.
I'm
He
not-
said he wants to come back.
everything would be
yeah,
plugged in,
I can't
ready to
leave.
go.
I can't leave $3,000 worth of equipment sit.
No.
20 minutes.
I take it with me everywhere I go.
It's all right. He
I
said he
hide
wants
it in
to-
my underwear.
Yeah.
So,
I can't leave.
If you want to hold up Nick, find him at the grocery store. He's carrying it
Oh
under his
fuck,
shirt.
man, dude, don't send them. You're sending a hit squad out for me on that one.
You want to hold up Nick?
Somebody's
find him at
gonna-
the grocery store.
Somebody wants
Carrying it
my
under his shirt.
my tools.
Tools of the trade. Tools of the trade.
I don't really believe that God called in sick the second day. I was just
Oh,
being
you're
a
just
smart
smart
ass.
ass.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was
it
being
was
a
a good
smart
riff.
ass.
It was a good riff.
Does
I
anybody
enjoyed
think
it.
that God called in sick the second day?
You know, well, maybe somebody else.
It was a good riff.
Maybe so. You know what? We're killing batteries. Excuse me, people. We'll show. I'll at least show you this.
What's he doing? Oh. Well, hey, man. Dude doesn't really game. You know.
Correct.
Yeah.
But that's cool, man.
That is a
Well,
gaming
hey,
headset.
Dude doesn't really
Say
game,
something.
Dude,
Something.
You know,
Yeah, I'm still hearing. I gotta shut it down. I gotta wait for the beep.
That's cool, man.
that is a gaming headset.
Beep boop.
Got it.
Something.
All right, so on the
I remember
agenda,
that sound,
Yeah.
so because I had that headset forever.
I used to like them so much till they started getting to the end of their life, like
Yeah. Oh, they
the.
started
remember
getting
that
real
sound,
long.
so,
Yeah.
'cause I had
Oh
that
wow,
headset.
we have a third cam up. Remember?
The wide. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I don't want to
Oh,
leave
they
that
started
because I'm
getting
not
real
actually
wonky.
on it.
Oh
well,
wow,
then
we have a third
can mess
camera,
with it.
Remember?
Yeah.
Yeah,
what
I'm
you
gonna
wanna
kill
do,
it quick.
yeah.
So I don't want to leave that because I'm not actually on it.
He's Squinty
well, then-
Magoo. Oh wait, no, that Mr. Magoo. Yeah.
Yeah,
Do
I'm
what you
gonna
want.
kill it.
There's a
I can't
a
see
reference
that
there.
small.
He's Squinty Magoo. Oh wait, no, that
I shouldn't have got sparkling water. I'm burping now.
All right, we'll show them. We'll show. Ooh, what? Oh, it didn't go infinity.
Got sparkling water.
Anyhow,
Well, it technically will. But you
I
won't
line.
be able to see it.
Yeah, I didn't line up nothing for you people today.
Didn't go in.
Just
mean you
yeah, I'd have
people?
guessed.
Well,
Like I
technically
didn't.
will.
No
I
research.
won't be able to see it.
Media blackout this week.
People today.
However,
Yeah, I'd have guessed.
I did want to do. We can't really expand. I mean, we can just give our thoughts on everything that was talked about beforehand. But
I did want to.
You know what I mean? Like, we can't really speak for
our thoughts on everything that was talked
our
about
guest that we did have.
But
Do you have any
you
tattoos?
know what I mean?
No.
Like,
No.
can't really
No.
speak
Why no? Just not your thing?
Not my thing.
Never wanted one?
It's not that like I don't have like a problem with it or anything. It's just I've only ever
Why not?
had the
It's not
idea
your
a
thing.
couple
Not my
times
thing.
of getting one,
It's not
and the
that,
idea
like,
passed
I
pretty
don't have,
quick.
like, a
so
Not a
process
good
or
enough
anything. It's
idea.
just
Yeah,
I've
you know what I mean.
never-
I'm like, okay,
I've
if
only
I
ever
didn't
had
don't
the
want this like a
idea
week
couple
later,
times of getting one.
So I
And the
would always
idea
give
passed pretty
myself
quick,
like
so
kind of
it's good
thinking
enough
like a week or two,
Yeah,
I changed my
you know what I mean? I'm
mind.
like,
So.
okay, if I
That's
didn't-
one thing that
don't
I'd
want
always
this, like, a
done.
week
Like, I never
later.
ran out,
So,
like,
I would always give myself
got an
time
idea,
thinking, like, a week or two, I
got
changed
my next
mind,
paycheck,
so.
or went and got money out of the bank and went and ran out and got a tattoo.
You
Anything.
thought about it, yeah.
For months.
Yeah.
Like months ahead of time. The only one I ever ran out and got was, I didn't have months of thinking into it, was
months.
Yeah.
Like months.
probably about a
ahead.
week, a few days, maybe 2 weeks tops.
I didn't have
That's still a nice amount of time to at least mull it over.
Like, yeah, not like, oh, let's go get a tattoo right now, boom, done. Yeah, that's how you end up regretting. You have regrets, and you may go back to the same tattoo artist to get a cover up.
That's how you. That's how
So.
you end up regretting. You have regrets.
Anyhow.
And you may go back to the same tattoo.
What game do you
artist
wanna
to get a
play?
cover up.
So we do got time today, killer amount of time. So we're gonna wrap this up. Fill out the last little bit of the podcast. The easiest way.
I am not burning the whole day though. I do have some other shit lined up.
No, the easiest thing to do would just be download Steam. I'll sign into my Steam.
The easiest way.
And play Towerfall. It's a head-to-head game.
Processor, man.
No, it's like old school. It's
What I'm
like
saying, the processor.
And play Towerfall.
It's
It's a head-to-head game.
yeah, I know.
G4560.
It's
So
fine.
it's like
All right. Low
Trust
tech.
me, it's fine. Trust me. What about it? This game will run.
You'll
on
be
a
playing. I don't know how. I won't play a game I don't know how to play.
Well, it's a head-to-head
Trust me,
game.
it's fine.
Well, you can play the computer.
This game will run
You'll
on
be
the
playing.
side.
Come on, man. I don't play games I don't know how to play. I already make an ass out of myself 98% of the time everywhere.
I played this game for like a half an hour, dude.
What is it?
It's called Towerfall.
I already make an ass out of myself.
What's the
It's
I've
like
only
I
played
think it's
this
like
game-
8-bit or
I played this game for
16-bit
like a half an
style.
What's the big one now? Titanfall?
Yeah.
Was that like a real big game that
Yeah.
people were
It's like
hyped
a-
about?
it's like
Yeah, it's a first-person shooter where you can get into
style.
mechs.
It's not that.
No.
Okay.
No,
Yeah.
it's not
Is that
that.
like a
Maybe.
real
We'll
big
see.
game
We'll
that
see.
people were hyped about?
Yeah, it's the first.
Or a different game. What other games are there?
It's not that.
Run down the list for me.
That will run. That I have in my Steam that'll run on that.
Yeah, none.
What a different game. What other games are there?
Hey, even
might
if we
be
gotta
some-
go low, even if we gotta go low,
There might be some single-player games, but that'd be just me playing and you watching. Then
we can take turns, man.
Even if we
Yeah,
go
that-
low.
I would have to look through the list. I don't know.
But that'd be
No.
just me playing and you watching.
Anyhow,
We can take turns, man.
I'm trying to. I'm
I
trying.
have like 150 Steam
I would have to look through the
games.
list.
Trying to think of a way to wrap it up. 150?
Yeah.
Damn.
Anyhow.
Well,
Hey.
Humble Bundle.
Something I
have-
wanted to
I
ask
have like
about on
150
Steam that I don't understand, and maybe other people that seeing this someday today.
Well, humble.
Can you
Bundle.
borrow games
Something I
from
wanted to
people?
ask about
So,
on Steam
there-
that
I don't know if it's
understand, and maybe
still
other people that
An
are
active
seeing this
program,
someday
but
today.
there used to be
Can you borrow
like a
games from
friend
people?
share
So,
function.
there-
So what I would
don't know
do
if it's
is
still
I would have to like
an
log
active
in
program,
to like whatever
there used to
computer you're
be
on. Like we have to be
like a
friends
friend share function
and have
On
each,
Steam.
and each have our own Steam account.
I would have to,
And
like,
then
log in
I have to
to,
log
like,
like,
whatever
we both
computer
have to
you're
like
on.
logged in
And
on
we have
each
to be
other's
friends
computers and they have to be authorized.
and have
on
each
Steam.
and
And
each
then
have our own Steam account.
as long as I'm not
And then
playing a certain
I have to
title,
like, we
you can
both have to,
download
like,
it
log
from
in
my
on
like,
each other's computers.
It'll say
and
like
they have to be
a play
authorized.
share. Like you can go into
And
my
Yeah.
library,
As long
download
as
it,
I'm not playing
and
a
play it.
certain
As long as
title,
I'm not playing
you can
it.
download it.
Well,
from
what
the-
fun is that?
It'll say like a play share.
Yeah,
you can go
no
to the
fun.
But I
library,
don't even know if
download
they
it,
still have that.
and play it as long as I'm not playing it.
And you know something else I didn't think about till right now? I really was black at
But I
one
don't even know
time
if they
in
still
Rust.
have that.
Was I
Yeah.
not?
You were.
I was a black guy.
I was like an Asian guy, and then when they added females, now I'm a chick. I'm like a white chick.
You are, yeah, you are a chick.
You were.
You get to run around as a
I was
naked
like
chick.
an Asian guy, and then when they added
Went from an Asian
females,
dude to a
I'm
white chick.
I'm like a white chick. Yeah.
What a
What a world.
what a
Yeah.
change, man.
I think you were black and then stayed black.
Yeah, I'm
You're
just- I'm
black
just-
dude to black dude. Yeah.
I'm black.
Yeah.
What a
In
What a-
Rust.
what a world.
In Rust.
In Rust.
I think
In
you
Rust,
were
let me
black
state
in
that.
So let me
Yeah,
explain
you're
it
black
to you.
dude,
So
black
Rust
dude.
is a survival
I'm
game.
black.
If you don't,
Yeah.
if you're
Rust.
uninitiated with it,
If you
and so
don't
what it
know.
does is
Let me
it
state that.
automatically
So
generates
let me explain too.
a
So Rust is a survival game. If you don't
like a
if-
character
just if you're uninitiated
based off
with
of
it.
like the
And
letters.
so what
in
it
your
does
name.
is it
That's how it
automatically
generates.
generates.
Yeah,
It
off
looks
your
like
off
a,
your
yeah.
Steam name.
Off your Steam name. So
like a
my first
character
randomly
based
generated
off
one
of,
was
like,
an
the
Asian
letters
dude.
in your
Then
name.
they added
That's how it
females
generates
into
your
the
look
game,
like.
off your
and then
Yeah.
Steam name.
when it
Off your Steam
changed, like
name. So
half
my
the people
first
ended up
randomly
becoming
generated
chicks.
One was an Asian dude.
Wow.
And then
Yeah, I
they added
wondered if I was
females
going to
into
be
the
one, but
game.
I logged on and
then
no, I
when it
wasn't.
changed,
So
like half the people ended up becoming chicks.
I think your dick shrunk though.
Yeah.
it probably did.
Probably did.
Shrinkage, man, shrinkage.
Yeah. Took a lot of
What
swimming.
what would it take to get that online? Because we had some fun on there.
Rust?
Yeah.
I mean,
Shrinkage,
I'll
yeah.
just look it up
Took a
real
lot
quick.
of-
No. Like what? Not stat wise. What do we need to?
Rust?
to start streaming Rust.
Yeah.
Just look
Are we
it
gonna
up.
do house to house, or are we gonna do?
House to house, I mean, I'm fine. It's
Would be easier.
Either way, we need to get used to make sure that your rig's up to snuff.
Well, I already know my rig's up to
House
snuff.
house,
The one at
I'm
home.
fine.
Oh
It's
yeah,
really
you have
easy.
played Rust.
Either way,
yours
we need
is
to
pretty
use to make sure that your
slow on the
rig's up to
graphics.
snuff.
Nah, dude, that 660 is working.
Oh yeah, you have.
It's pretty low
Yours
on the
is pretty
graphics.
And it ran Rust without issue on whatever.
You had to bump down the res and you had to tweak.
It's pretty low on the graphics.
Mm-mm. Not for Rust.
Yeah, if I recall.
You had to bump down the res and
Mm-mm.
you had to
No,
tweak.
I've always had NVIDIA. Always had NVIDIA.
Yeah.
I ran at.
Oh, you have an AMD now.
No.
Oh no.
No.
Oh, you mean your 660 Ti?
Yeah.
Do you just want my nine? You can
My
use
home
my, you
run.
can
No,
use my
man, I'm not
970.
upgrading.
You have an-
I'm gonna
Just
run it
use
till
my 970.
I'm gonna run it till the
you mean
fan
your
comes out of
Well,
it.
you have an
Till the
EV
wheels come
Well,
off.
you have an
Use my-
EVGA
use my
with a
970.
lifetime warranty.
Just use
Yeah,
my
it-
970.
So if it dies of its own accord,
Does
you
that
get
still
a new
apply,
graphics.
though?
Yeah, if it's a lifetime
Well, you have an
warranty,
EVGA
Yeah.
and you don't do anything, it doesn't die of anything you did
So
to
if it
it.
dies of its own
Yeah,
accord,
they
you get a
replace
new
it.
graphics.
I wonder if,
Yeah,
like,
if it's a
lightning
lifetime
strike
warranty,
counts.
You'd have to check the
and you
terms.
don't do
Yeah, I know.
anything, it
I don't
doesn't
know
die
about
of
that
anything
shit.
you did to it, then
All
yeah,
right,
they
man.
replace it.
So we should be back playing a game.
Yeah, pretty
We-
quick. Actually, like, it shouldn't be too long to set up.
Huge thank you to our guest Thor Marlowe.
So we
Amazing.
should be back
He will be
playing
back sometime.
quick,
Yeah,
actually.
and
Like, it
possibly
shouldn't be
next
too long
week
to
we
set up.
should
I want to hear more. Have a
have a third and possibly regular. If you remember Aaron from our IT
And
episode,
possibly next week we
he's
should
he's got Sundays cleared
have
now,
a
and
third
he's expressed
and
interest as
possibly
being a regular.
If you remember Aaron from
So-
our
that episode he was on.
he was,
God,
he's got
it doesn't have
Sundays
like
cleared now,
a
he's
huge
expressed
number of
interest in being a
downloads.
But it's
regular.
more than average.
Well, two things. He got people to check it out, and two, the title of it, the PC Inappropriate. I guarantee a lot of it was kind of like
It was
clickbaity.
clickbaity.
People were thinking it was something politically, PC related, and well, it was.
But maybe we should just start naming everything super clickbaity. Is that what you're saying?
No, man, I actually I don't like clickbait shit.
No, I don't either, but
maybe
it
we
does
should just start
work.
naming everything.
Oh fuck yeah,
It
it works.
works.
That proves it right there.
right there,
That if anything proves the point.
Yeah.
No,
P-
I don't either,
title
but
in
it
an
does
episode,
work.
PC Inappropriate.
Yeah, it works. Yeah.
Got us more
Yeah,
downloads.
right there.
Yeah.
If anything proves the point.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's roll this show. We're gonna work something out for a game. I don't know if I want to go super, but what two-player super game is there?
Turtles in Time is what we were going to originally.
Right.
It's gonna be like if you want to find a ROM now, good luck over the internet. We'd have to go get the
Turtles in
disc.
Time is what
And how are we gonna play a head-to-head game on one
It's gonna be-
computer?
like if you want to find a
It's
ROM
split
now,
screen.
good luck over the
Or it's
internet.
like
You'd
it's
have to
it's a
get
one-screen
this.
game. It's like it's like arcade style.
Oh,
Both of
oh.
our sprites move on the same screen
It's split screen.
because
Okay.
we fight.
Or it's like
we shoot
one
bows
screen.
at each other.
Yeah, I
It's like
got you.
It's like arcade
Um,
style.
What other
Both of our
games
sprites
are
move on the same screen
two people on like
because we fight.
on
Single
screen?
We shoot
two
bows
people.
at each other. Yeah.
On you mean on Steam?
Single screen.
Just in general, I'm trying to think of
General?
some.
Oh,
The
like
n-
on Super Nintendo, there's a bunch.
New Super Mario
You mean
Brothers
on
is on what is that? Wii?
Yeah.
In general, I'm trying
In
to
general?
think of
Yeah,
some.
that's
like on
Mario.
Super
Instead of
Nintendo,
taking
there's a bunch.
turns, it started
Super
like
Mario Brothers
we all play
is
through the
on, what is
levels
that,
at the
Wii?
same time.
Yeah, which
There's
is
shenanigans with that because you can jump on
That's
each other
Mario-
and stuff.
instead of
Yeah, jump on
taking
each
turns,
other,
it
and if
started
you go
to
too
run.
fast,
we all
you-
play through the levels at the same time.
So when Mario
There's
Party 10
shenanigans
comes
with
out,
that. You
though,
can jump on
I'm
each
gonna
other
bring my
and
Switch
stuff.
down. We
Yeah.
need to get
Jump
two
on
other
each
people
other,
to
and
play
if you
Mario
go too
Party.
fast,
How are we gonna get two other
Or
people?
not 10, whichever.
So
like
when
Super
Mario Party 10
Party
comes
on
out,
the
though,
Switch.
On
comes
the
out.
Switch?
Yeah.
Okay.
We need to get two other people
And we
to
can
play Mario.
HDMI that right into a display, right?
Or not 10.
I'll look
whichever,
into
like,
it, but you
Super
might
Mario
need like an
Party.
Elgato or something.
Comes
But
out Switch?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
Yeah.
which
We
we
can
yeah we
HDMI
we
that
can do
right
it.
into a
Yeah,
display,
we have
right?
capture cards.
I'll
It's
look into
HDMI.
it.
Actually,
might
we'll
need,
go
like, an
one
Elgato or
camera on
something,
us,
but
and
yeah.
then one on
I mean,
for the.
Game, yeah, we don't
Yeah,
need-
We're good?
We don't need
We're
two
good?
separate
We have
cams,
capture
no.
cards. It's
All right, people, we shall return.
One camera on
We're
us,
signing
and
off.
one on-
Again, huge thank you to
Yeah,
Thor
we don't
Marlowe
need-
coming
so
on.
we don't need two separate
I learned some
cams.
shit about football I didn't know,
Yeah, yeah, that was really
We're
insightful.
signing off.
and just the whole mix of it too.
Thanks, so.
I don't like talking
I
about
learned
people when
some
they're
shit
not
about
here.
football I didn't
Well,
know.
we're
But-
not- it's not like
he
we're
was- that was
trashing
really
him.
insightful.
Oh, the total
Just
slam
the
piece.
whole mix.
Slam.
I don't like
No,
talking about people when they're not here.
Amazing
Well, we're
individual
not
as far as I'm
trash,
concerned. Doing that much, and like I said, he organized that skate contest.
Dude's a
No,
workhorse.
I hadn't seen that
Somebody's
for
like,
years.
he's individual as far as I'm
He's out
concerned.
there fucking
Doing that
grinding,
much,
man.
and he
Every time
organized that
that's the
skate
first I
contest.
saw him sit still, not working ever.
Yes. Yep.
He's out there.
He's always in the studio tattooing or coaching, whatever. But to do all that, there's only 24 hours in a day. That's what we all get.
In the studio tattooing.
Unless you're
or,
Doctor Who.
coaching, whatever. But to do
That's a
all
good
that,
point.
there's only 24 hours in a day. That's
I
what
don't
we
like
all
the
get.
new show as much as the old one.
Unless you're Doctor.
I like it with like Matt Smith was like the furthest I watched it. I didn't see it after that.
Who's your favorite doctor?
I like it with like
I probably have to go.
Matt
down.
Smith was like the furthest I watched it.
How many have there been? 13?
13 or 14. I think.
14?
Yeah.
Do you remember the original?
No, I didn't watch the original. I watched it like the post reboot after like 2000.
Ah, come on, man. You got to watch the original shit.
I know a little bit
No, I
about
didn't
it.
watch the original.
It was
I watched
pretty
like,
cheesy.
The post
Yeah.
reboot after
But-
like
So
2000.
I mean,
Hey, I watched it with Pop, man.
the new one
I know.
has.
My
some
dad
cheese
loved
as
that
well.
shit.
It was pretty cheap.
All right, we gonna set this up?
But
What?
So, I mean,
yeah, I
the new
wa-
one.
I watched it with Pop, man.
Real
The
quick
new one
before we
has
go,
some
I need
shit
another
as
piece of
well.
trivia answered. Name me
We gonna
the
set
to Scott, Was it Bakula? Bakula?
Scott Bakula.
Yeah, I can't
from
say it.
Quantum Leap and Star Trek Enterprise.
What other show was he on other than those two?
I don't know.
Okay. Are those the two I'm thinking of?
Those are like the two that I know him from. I didn't
So I
he's
was-
done other stuff.
When I was watching Enterprise and I was like, Quantum Leap. fucking
Yeah.
damn. Okay.
That's why, yeah.
Okay. I was like rumbling in my head.
Yeah.
All right, man. All right, people. We'll be back with something for you.
That's why.
I don't know.
Okay. I was like,
It's a toss-up.
We'll see.
We'll work it out. We'll hash it
We'll
out.
hash something out.
We'll be back with something
Okay.
for you. I don't know.
We'll see.
Love it, man. Love
We'll
it.
hash something out. Okay.